If you've ever wanted to know how to end America, but weren't sure where to start, this is the guide for you. We'll give you not only the history of America, but also a thorough guide on how to end them. Step 1. Expose their true history. Step 2. Let things unfold. The United States is the leading cause of global warming, the largest producer of weapons in the world, and long-standing abuser of human rights. If you want to end America for good, there are a few actions you can take. It's become increasingly clear that the American empire is in decline. As the global economy continues to shift away from economic and military dominance, it's time for us to start considering how we can end America once and for all. Today, we'll kick off our series on how to end America by looking at the root of the problem: culture. The United States is a large country with a complex history and economy. However, when you examine its role in the world from the perspective of non-Americans, it's hard not to see an exorbitant and costly drain on resources. It's also hard not to wonder how this situation came about. In this article, we seek to understand how America came into being and why it is now such a dominant force in global affairs. If most of us are honest with ourselves, we know that much of what is wrong with this country can be traced to the unchecked greed and mismanagement of our government. The real question is how to convince those in power to willingly give it up. As a recent study by Princeton University showed, the US is no longer an actual democracy but instead an oligarchy controlled by a small group of elites who haven't been properly challenged for fear of reprisal. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's simply common sense, and now there's proof. World leaders call for end to American hegemony. Blog intro. Finally, the rest of the world has had enough. Following a global incident involving a certain superpowered nation and its ally, the rest of the world's nations have banded together to put an end to the continued American hegemony on Earth. Will it work? Or will this be one of the first steps towards a new world war? In America, a nation of people born into a system that values individualism above all else, we have developed a culture of self-entitled narcissists who are convinced that they are owed everything. America has become an incubator for greed and selfishness. And the longer this attitude persists, the further we will fall behind other developed nations in every facet of life. To truly end America, we must change our culture to one that prizes selflessness over selfishness and community over individuality. We must reject capitalism in favor of socialism and hold our leaders accountable for their negligence.